to a new video on the Sugaridoo channel. My name is Irene and today I'm going to finish the quilt top for the quilt for my little mister. So I went ahead and sewn all the pieces of the paper piecing letters. The pattern that I'm using for the letters is a new one which I haven't released yet. It's a ABC pattern which comes in two sizes, so all the letters of the alphabet are included, and also both sizes of the letters you will find in the pattern. And I've already designed it a while ago and it was tested by some awesome testers, so everything was ready to go, but I just haven't launched it yet. So today I guess it's a good time to release the new pattern. So the method I'm using here is paper piecing on paper piecing paper on tea bag paper, and that paper is available in my webshop per meter. Meter is a little bit more than a yard, so you can buy it in 1 meter, 2 meters, 5 and 10 meters. It's perfect paper. It's really the best paper. Click on the link in the screen if you want to know more about this tea bag paper and why I like it so much. So that is all the pieces of the letters finished, and now it's time to sew those pieces together and assemble them in the quilt. And the way I'm joining these pieces together is by first cutting a 1/4 inch seam between the pieces that I'm going to sew together. So when I would start with this letter E, for example, then I first need to make a nice seam allowance around the pattern pieces, but I don't cut a seam allowance around the whole piece, but I only cut the seam allowance between the two pieces that I'm going to join. So I'm going to join these two pieces, so I'm going to cut this seam allowance, and then I'm going to join these two pieces, so I cut a seam allowance over here and over here. So this middle piece I will cut on both sides 1/4 inch, and also on the other side. And this one I'm only going to cut on the top. And this one also only on one side. And the reason that I'm cutting those pieces only on 1 or 2 sides is because after I've sewn this together, so I'm going to sew this together and then I'm going to sew this together, then you can always have a slight difference in height, because you could have a bulky seam, or you could be just not too precise with the sewing, which often happens to me, to be honest, but then the size of the letter could be a little bit off. So what I like to do is I leave these edges as they are, and when I've completed the whole letter, then I will trim those. So then I know that the letter will be exactly the height that I want it to be. And it's nice that when you make multiple letters that they all have exactly the same height, so that they fit perfectly in your quilt. So I'm going to sew all the letters together, and we'll show you a few more tips while I'm sewing. So after I've trimmed off the edges, I'm going to pin 2 pieces together. And I don't often pin when I'm quilting, but when I'm joining foundation paper piecing pieces, then I'm using pins. So I use the pins like this to find the corners of both blocks or a edge between two colors of fabric, for example here the blue and the white. And then I use those on both sides of the pieces, and those are like kind of marks where the pieces should be joined together. And then I use some extra pins to pin the two pieces together. And then I can sew this together. All sewn. So taking all the pins out. And what I like to do then is that I peel away the tea bag paper from the seam. So I'm leaving all of the other tea bag paper in there, but only in the seam I'm going to rip it away, because it can get bulky if you leave it there. And peeling away this paper just gives a nicer and smoother effect when you press the seam open, for example. It's just not as bulky. So that's that, and those are the first two pieces joined together. So I'm going to give this a press, and in this step I like to press my seams open. So yeah, I do a quick little finger press and then go to my ironing board. Ta-da! There it is! It's all nice and flat, joined together. I like it! So let's do also all the other pieces. The name is finished, so time to put the quilt together. I'm going to place the name between these rows, so I have to shuffle a little bit. And then I need to see if the placement of the colors of the penguins is still okay. Yeah, so only this penguin is in the same color, so I might mix that up. I could change it with red or with light green. I think this looks just fine. So I'm going to go with this layout, so now I can sew the blocks together. So there we have it! it. All done. I think it's a really nice size for a tiny quilt. It was supposed to be a baby quilt, of course, but it's a bit too late for the baby face. But still, I guess it's a good size for the little mister. So yeah, quilt top is done. Now I can get to think about how I'm going to quilt it. I do know that I have to sew on a lot of ice for the penguins. Yeah, but that's going to be in a next video. So thanks for following the progress on this little quilt. And I really hope to see you again in the next video where I'm going to finish this one. Bye bye!